Imagine waking up one day and an entire city of 1 million people has simply disappeared. No bodies, no explanation, no warning, just silence. This has happened not once, but 5 times in human history, and nobody, not scientists, not historians, not governments, can fully explain why. Welcome to ShadowArchives Official. Today we uncover 5 civilizations that vanished without a single trace. Stay until the end, because number 1 will change the way you see human history forever. Let's begin. At number 5, the Indus Valley civilization. Around 2500 BC, one of the most advanced societies in human history flourished across what is now Pakistan and India. At its peak, over 5 million people lived in perfectly planned cities, with running water, sewage systems, and grid-patterned streets that modern engineers still admire today. Cities like Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa were architectural masterpieces, built with mathematical precision, centuries before the Romans or Greeks ever existed. These were not primitive villages. These were thriving metropolises, with indoor plumbing, public baths, and streets so perfectly aligned they could only have been planned by expert urban designers. Merchants traded goods across thousands of miles. Farmers grew crops using sophisticated irrigation systems. Children played with clay toys. Artists carved intricate seals. And then, around 1900 BC, everything stopped. No signs of war, no mass graves, no evidence of invasion or conquest, no great fire, no flood. The entire civilization simply gone. Some scientists believe climate change gradually dried up their rivers, destroying their agricultural base. Others point to a massive earthquake that shifted the very land beneath their feet. A few researchers believe a deadly epidemic wiped out the population within a single generation. But the truth is, nobody knows. To this day, the Indus Valley writing system has never been decoded. Whatever secrets this civilization held, whatever caused 5 million people to vanish, remains locked in symbols nobody on Earth can read. The Indus Valley civilization remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in all of human history. And every year archaeologists uncover new ruins that raise more questions than they answer. At number 4, the Minoans of ancient Crete. 3,500 years ago, the Minoans were the first advanced civilization in all of Europe, while the rest of the continent was still living in primitive settlements. The Minoans were building magnificent palaces, creating stunning artwork, and establishing trade routes that stretched across the entire Mediterranean Sea. Their capital city of Knossos was unlike anything the ancient world had ever seen. The Palace of Knossos contained over 1,000 rooms, with indoor plumbing, flushing toilets, and ventilation systems that wouldn't appear again in Europe for another 3,000 years. Think about that for a moment. A civilization that had running water and flushing toilets 3,500 years ago. Their art was breathtaking. Their women wore elaborate dresses and jewelry. Their athletes performed death-defying acrobatics over the backs of charging bulls. Their ships sailed to Egypt, to Greece, to Turkey, trading goods across the known world. They were wealthy, powerful, and sophisticated beyond anything their era should have produced. And then, around 1450 BC, something catastrophic happened. Some historians believe a massive volcanic eruption on the nearby island of Thera, one of the largest volcanic events in recorded human history, triggered devastating tsunamis that destroyed every coastal city the Minoans had built. Others believe the eruption caused years of darkness and crop failure that slowly starved the entire population. A third theory suggests that, weakened by natural disaster, the Minoans were invaded and conquered by the Mycenaean Greeks from the mainland. But here is what makes the Minoans truly terrifying. Their language, known as Linear A, has never been translated. Not a single word. Whatever secrets they held, whatever knowledge they built their extraordinary civilization upon, died with them completely and utterly, forever. We may never know what they called themselves, what they believed, or what they saw in their final days. At number 3, the Anasazi, also known as the ancestral Puebloans of North America. For over 1,000 years, the Anasazi built incredible cliff dwellings high into the sides of mountains across what is now Colorado, Utah, Arizona, and New Mexico. These were not primitive people. They were astronomers, tracking the movement of stars with pinpoint accuracy. They were architects, constructing multi-story buildings carved directly into cliff sides that still stand today. They were artists, painting elaborate murals that tell stories we still cannot fully interpret. Their roads stretched hundreds of miles across the desert, connecting dozens of communities in a vast network of trade and communication. And then, around 1300 AD, they walked away. Every single one of them. Pots were left on fires, food was left uneaten, tools were abandoned mid-use, entire villages frozen in a single moment, as if an entire civilization simply stood up and walked into the desert, never to return. The descendants of the Anasazi, the Hopi and Pueblo people, speak of a great migration forced by drought, conflict, and spiritual calling. But where exactly they went, and why they left so suddenly and so completely, remains one of the deepest mysteries in American history. At number 2, the Khmer Empire of Southeast Asia. Between 800 and 1400 AD, the Khmer built the largest empire in the history of Southeast Asia and constructed what remains the largest religious monument ever built on Earth, Angkor Wat in modern-day Cambodia. At its peak, the city of Angkor was home to over 1 million people, making it the largest city on the entire planet at that time. Larger than medieval London, larger than medieval Paris, larger than any city in Europe or the Americas. They had hospitals, universities, and a highway system connecting their entire empire. They built massive reservoirs that fed water to millions of people across the driest seasons. Their temples were so precisely engineered that on certain days of the year, the rising sun aligns perfectly with the central tower, a feat of astronomical engineering that still baffles modern architects. And then, in the 15th century, the entire city was abandoned. The jungle swallowed it whole. For 400 years, Angkor sat hidden beneath the trees, completely unknown to the outside world, until a French explorer stumbled upon it in 1860 and could barely believe what he was seeing. To this day, archaeologists are still discovering new temples buried beneath the Cambodian jungle. And at number 1, the civilization that has puzzled experts more than any other in human history, the ancient Maya. The Maya were geniuses. They independently invented the concept of zero. They built a calendar more accurate than the one we use today. They mapped Venus, Mars, and Jupiter with naked-eye precision that modern telescopes have only recently confirmed. At their peak, between 250 and 900 AD, the Maya population exceeded 20 million people. Their cities were magnificent, Chichen Itza was so perfectly designed that twice a year a shadow shaped exactly like a serpent slithers down the staircase of the Great Pyramid. And then, between 800 and 1000 AD, city after city was simply abandoned, not conquered, not destroyed, just left. Within 200 years, 20 million people had vanished into the jungle. Theories range from drought to warfare to political collapse. But the full truth remains buried in the jungles of Central America, waiting to be found. Welcome to ShadowArchives Official. The truth lives in the shadows, and we will find it. If this video made you think, subscribe right now, because next week we go even deeper, into darker places, into bigger mysteries, into secrets buried for thousands of years. This is only the beginning.